I like that music. I almost got Mike to dance.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. More like an eye roll.
Sure. Yeah, my eyes were dancing a little bit.
Yeah. That's very good, Mike. I like that. I'm going to use that one next time when I roll my eyes. All right, we're going to talk about some 19th century copper. And we're going to move into the last 30 years of the Indian head cents. This is from 1880 to 1909. This is the complete set of the Indian heads. Now, here's the only caveat. These normally sell out every time I'm with Mike. So we have a limited quantity to go around. I know you hear that in a lot in coins, but that's just the way it works. This is part of history. It's not like we can just manufacture more coins. It's not the way it works. With 4 flexible payments of $49.99, you can get these all at home. But Mike, each one of these has been cherry-picked and hand-selected by your team.
Yeah, I mean, we sold a lot of new coins here. We had the palladium and the gold and all that, right. 2016, 17, 2012 was kind of the old coins. This is 1880. This is not reprinted, restruck, or redone. That's right, this is not new. 1880, that was made in 1880 in Philadelphia. 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, and all the way on up. Here's the interesting part about this. Here's the amazing part about this. These are not reprinted, restruck, or redone. These are 100% original. So you get 30 Indian head cents. You get 30 Indian head cents here for $199. So you're basically $6 a coin. If you count in, you know, it's about 59 cents a piece for the holders and add on and all that. You're looking at right about $6 a coin, give or take. So ultimately, at $6 a coin for coins that are all well over 100 years old. Yeah, that's the amazing part. But the amazing part is I have the entire set. We've oftentimes sold the last 10 Indian head cents. Those are popular, they're difficult to get. The last 20 even. But the last 30, the 1880s, these coins from 1880 to 1889 are phenomenally, phenomenally difficult to get. And particularly, and that's a great shot, when you look at these coins, look at the condition. They just are individually hand-selected to ensure that you get absolutely stunning coins. Now, it's $6 a coin. Now, here's the amazing part. I have a nationally advertised catalog that I kind of price against here in essence. Okay. And I went in and looked for these coins. Now we're $6 a coin. Just to give you an idea, the 1909, which is a difficult coin to get, because they're $40.50 for that coin. They're $40.50 for that coin. And the reason is most of the minting in 1909 was done with the Lincoln cent. That was the first year of the Lincoln cent, so they didn't make very many Indian cents. So that's why that's a $40.50 coin. You go up here into the 1880s, you're looking at $18, $21, $18, $15, $18, $31, $72, $9.75, $72 for the 1885 is a $72 coin. You're $6. As a matter of fact, the single lowest price they have, the lowest price they have on any of the coins, the easy ones, quote unquote, from the 1890s, $8.25 a coin. At $8.25 a coin. As a matter of fact, on a coin-by-coin basis, instead of $199 in a nationally advertised catalog, and there's one of the coins that they're missing, actually, within that, you're looking at the better part of $400. You're looking at the better part of $400 to be able to get this. And every single solitary one of these, not reprinted, restruck, or redone in any way, shape, or form, they're 100% original. The other really cool thing about Indian head cents is oftentimes if you're collecting like the nickels or the half dimes of this period, the dimes or the quarters or the dollars, you've got die varieties, you've got different mint marks, Philadelphia, Denver, or well, not Denver from this standpoint, but you have Philadelphia, you've got New Orleans, you've got Carson City, you've got all of these different mint marks. The Indian head cents were really only made at Philadelphia, so this is also a complete set as well. So you start up here. So the only Indian head cent in 1880 was made at Philadelphia. You have a complete set of 80, 81, 82. As a matter of fact, it's absolutely complete. They started making some San Francisco minted coins in 1908, 1909, but those coins are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars a piece. It's why we don't include them. So this is a substantial collection. Each coin is individually housed in its own airtight holder to ensure that you can show this coin. Let me see. This is the coin right here. This is the key coin to the collection. This is what keeps other people from being able to sell this. Now look at this. This is the 1880. Is that 1885 or did I grab 1884? Let me grab the 1885. Sorry about that. Let me grab the 1880. This is the key coin. This is the key coin in the entire series right here, 1885. That coin can run in very fine condition up to $85 or not $72. Sorry about that. That's it. And look at that coin. Individually hand-selected, not reprinted, restruck, or redone in any way, shape, or form. This is an outstanding coin, 1885. And you look at that and go, okay, so this was really made in 1885 in Philadelphia. Nothing else has been done to it. All we did is take it. All we did is put it in the airtight, special airtight holder, put it into the presentation pack here, and then sell it to you for basically $6 instead of $40 or $50 or $60 or $70 that you see up there. All of these 1880 coins, if I look at this, that's 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 120, 130, 140, 150. It's about $199 just for the 1880 to the 1889s, folks. From the 1880 to the 1889s on that. So a great opportunity to own authentic United States coins.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up, and the item number is 424438, if you would like it, you take advantage of